All right, welcome back to WMAC Now with your host Chuck Stevenson, coming at you tonight with a special event preview, full event preview. Going to Denver, Colorado for Invicta FC number 48, which goes down about 24 hours from the time of this airing on Wednesday, July 20th. Denver, Colorado, first Invicta event outside of Kansas City in quite a long time. So it'd be nice to at least have a change of scenery and what do they call that? B-side footage. Anyway, this event's going to be topped off by a bantamweight championship between Taneisha Tennant and Olga Rubin. This is, I believe, Olga Rubin's official bantamweight debut. Has fought at featherweight before this. And then we've got 5 other fights. This event, let me tell you something, this event went through a lot of changes and even had one fight just drop off completely. Still, we're getting 6 fights all for free on YouTube or Access TV if you have Access TV. So go ahead and check it out tomorrow night, Wednesday, July 20th. In the meantime, let's start discussing these fights. First up, at bantamweight, we have Autumn Norton returning for the first time in quite a while to take on Canada's Maria Dukic. Let me bring up the stats here. The natural Autumn Norton coming in at 1-1. Sweet Maria Dukic coming in at 2-0. Let me see here. Norton last fought, it's been a while. She last fought 2 years and 8 months ago, beating Cheyenne Rincon via decision. Maria Dukic last fought 5.5 months ago for Palace Athena Women's Fighting Championship, defeating Clara Risignola via split decision. Both fighters are the same age at 28 years. Looks like Dukic will have the height advantage, 5 feet 7 inches, 170 centimeters to 5 feet 5 inches, 165 centimeters. Looks like the reach is reversed though, 67.5 inch, 171 centimeters for Norton, to 66.2 inches, 168 centimeters for Dukic. So Dukic has had both of her pro fights in well under the time since Norton last fought. And I'm going to go ahead and take Dukic for that one. I like what I've seen from her so far. I like what I saw in her fight against Clara Risignola back at Palace Athena. And she's the fresher fighter. I mean, Norton hasn't fought in over 2.5 years. 2.5 years. That's a long time of inactivity. Definitely going to be bringing in ring rust. So for that reason, I'm taking Sweet Maria Dukic to win this one. Then we move up to featherweight. Amber Leibrock coming back to Invicta for the first time in a number of years, taking on PFL veteran Morgan Fryer. So might remember Leibrock pretty much started her career in Invicta, if I remember correctly. Yeah, back in Invicta FC 13 back in 2015. Fought there for a little bit, went to Bellator, and then now she's back at Invicta. Let's go ahead and take a look at the stats on this one. Touch them up. Amber Leibrock coming in at 5-4. Mad Dog Morgan Fryer coming in at 4-3. So a bit of a reversal of fortunes for these two fighters. So Leibrock has won her last 2 bouts, coming off a TKO win 7 months ago at Gladiator Challenge. Fryer has lost her last 2 bouts. She hasn't fought in 3 years since losing via submission to Kayla Harrison. Leibrock's the elder fighter, 34 to 35 or 31 years for Fryer. Nice height difference here in favor of Amber Leibrock. 6 feet even, 183 centimeters to 5 feet 8 inches, 173 centimeters for Fryer. However, the reach is almost even. 72 inches, 183 centimeters for Fryer to 71 inches, 180 centimeters for Leibrock, which just tells me that, and you can kind of see it in the picture here. Morgan Fryer, she's got some broad shoulders going on, probably long arms to reach as well, which will help make up that reach disadvantage compared to 4 inches in difference in height. But I'm going to go with Leibrock here. Listen, neither of these two are exactly top level fighters, but Leibrock has slightly more experience, just slightly more, and she's actually beaten, some halfway decent fighters. I mean, she didn't do so well in Bellator, but she went up against a lot tougher fighters than Morgan Fryer has, honestly, overall. And like the two fights that I remember of Fryer from PFL 3 years ago, they were not pretty. Whereas Leibrock is at least, even in her losing fights, she's putting up forth a decent effort. And honestly, like the fighters that Leibrock has lost to are of a higher caliber than any of Morgan Fryer's wins. I mean, you look at Fryer's wins, they're all against debutantes. Combine that with the ring rust for Fryer, not having fought in 3 years, whereas, at least Leibrock has fought in the last year. I got to go with Amber Leibrock to win this one. So moving along, we move to a strawweight bout. This might be the bout I am most looking forward to on this card. Melissa Odessa Parker taking on Isis Verbiage. And don't want to do that. Let me tell you something. Do not blink when this fight starts. These two love to strike. And Parker has some serious knockout power in her hands. Both these ladies have high-level striking sports experience outside of MMA as well. So this will definitely be a fight to watch. And do not blink during this one. Let's go ahead and take a look at the stats here. Bella Bestia Parker coming in at 3-1. Fight Queen Verbeek coming in at 3-1 as well. So identical records. Both fighters lost their first pro fights and then have won the next three. And Parker just fought 2.5 months ago, coming in off of a submission win over Celine Haga. Verbeek last fought a little under 11 months ago, picking up a decision over there at Combate Global. Verbeek is the younger fighter, 27 to 35 for Parker. They stand the same height, basically, 5 feet 4 inches. Looks like 1 centimeter difference in favor of Verbeek. Verbeek, however, does have the reach advantage, 2 inches, 65 inches, 165 centimeters, 63 inches, 160 centimeters for Parker. As I was saying, don't blink on this one. You got Verbeek coming in here. She's a kickboxer. Parker, serious boxer here. She is the IBO world champion in her weight class. Now, that's not one of the big four. That is like the one that just outside the big four. Like, it's still a serious belt in boxing. She's coming in here. She has heavy hands too, knockout power, and she's a submission threat. Her last 2 wins are via submission, so she's no joke. Isis is the longer MMA fighter. I mean, Parker's whole MMA career basically goes back just a little over a year. Big question is, with Parker, she's been going back and forth between MMA and boxing. At some point, you got to pick one. And so we'll see. I am going with Melissa Odessa Parker to win this one. I think she's going to have enough to get it done. I'm picking her via TKO. We're going with Melissa Odessa Parker via TKO. She's just got her strikes are too heavy, and she's good on the ground. Verbeek, she's a good striker, but she doesn't have quite the power that Parker has. So let me move on to a flyweight bout, and this is another one that I'm really looking forward to here. Liana Perotin taking on Christina Williams. Perotin just coming off a successful flyweight division debut in her last bout. Williams looking to make it 3 in a row two in a row inside the Invicta cage, but 3 wins in a row overall. I like this fight. Looking at the stats here, Lee coming in at 8-4, Warhorse coming in at 5-3, Now look at the difference there in the recent records. So Perotin coming in off of a split decision win just 2 months ago at the last Invicta event over Taneisha Tennant. Williams coming in off of a split decision win over Florhani 3 months ago, 3.5 months ago. And the Invicta event before that. Williams is the elder of the two, 32 to 29. Williams has a nice height advantage here, 5 feet 8 inches, 173 centimeters to 5 feet 5 inch, 165 centimeters. Extends to the reach as well, 67.5 inch, 171 centimeters, 64 inches, 163 centimeters for Perotin. So my pick for this one is going to be the Warhorse Christina Williams. Perotin didn't look too bad in her last fight, but that was a fight against a fellow fighter who was also moving up to flyweight for the first time. She's going to be going in there against a legit flyweight veteran in Christina Williams, a fighter with really some high-level experience too. I mean, Williams is a Bellator veteran. She's been in there against very good fighters over there at Bellator. Perotin's good. She's pretty well rounded. I just don't know if she has what it takes to take on the Warhorse. I mean, when you come that close against Janasia Morandin, who, let's be honest, Morandin is just a very undisciplined strawweight at best, and a small one at that. I got to go with Williams to win this one. So then we move on to the co-main event, a battle of Brazilian ladies. Talita Bernardo, UFC veteran, taking on Invicta newcomer Yana Godella. Actually, this is Bernardo's Invicta debut as well. Let's go ahead and take a look at the stats on this one. Bernardo coming in at 7-4. Godella also coming in at 7-4, so identical records. Slight reversal of fortunes, though, in recent times. Bernardo coming in off of a win over Lucia Pudilova in Octagon over there in Europe a little under a year ago. Godella last fought 2.5 months ago, losing via guillotine choke down in Brazil for Jungle Fight. 9-year age difference, 26 for Godella to 35 for Bernardo. Godella is the taller fighter, 5 feet 6 inches, 168 centimeters to 5 feet 4 inches, 163 centimeters for Bernardo. The reverse is the opposite, though. 68 inches, 173 centimeters for Bernardo to 65 inches, 165 centimeters for Godella. I'll be honest, this was a pretty late replacement here in Godella. Bernardo was supposed to be fighting Katarina Leonard. So I don't know anything about Godella. So if I got to make a pick on this one, I'm going to go with Bernardo. She's got the experience. She's fought much better opponents, has that high-level experience, has that big show experience being a UFC veteran. She's fought in front of big crowds. She's fought all over. So I'll just go Bernardo, mainly being the fact that I actually know her. So I don't know anything about Godella. Maybe she could surprise us, which would be really cool, being, that late notice replacement. They come in and they surprise you. That'd be cool. But for now, I'm going with Talita Bernardo. Probably via decision, because she's a bit boring of a lay-in prayer. Anyway, now we move on to the main event, Bantamweight Championship. The champ, Taneisha Tennant, taking on Olga Rubin. This is going to be a good one. This is going to be the chance for Tennant to really make a name for herself against a former featherweight title challenger in Rubin, when Rubin was fighting over there in Bellator. So if Tennant wants to move up to the big show, now is the chance to do it. She's got to make an impression with this win. Otherwise, the bigger shows are just going to keep overlooking her. Because up until now, she's very clean fighter, very good stylistically, but let's be honest here, she's not a finisher. She's just not, and her fights aren't all that exciting. I mean, there have even been times when she's had her opponent on their heels and could have gone for the finish, and then she didn't. That's not what the bigger promotions want to see. They want to see fighters that are going to go for it, and especially like the UFC. So This is a chance for Tennant to get another defense under her belt, and against a known name, a known opponent. This is actually going to be her first defense, but against a known former title challenger from a weight class up in Bellator veteran Olga Rubin. For Rubin, this is a chance for her to get a title under her name. This is her first time fighting at bantamweight, and this is a chance for her to basically come in and play spoiler in her Invicta debut and claim that title and go, they call me Big Bad for a reason. That's what Rubin's going to come in here looking to do. Anyway, let's go ahead and look at the stats. Triple threat, Tennant coming in at 4-1. Big Bad Olga Rubin coming in at 7-2. Both coming off of recent wins. Rubin over Priscilla De Souza via split decision 8 months ago in Octagon in Europe. Tennant coming in off of the win in the vacant championship over Lisa Brazosa 9 months ago. Both fighters are about the same age here, 33 to 32. Rubin, a couple months young, like 2 months younger. Height difference. 2-inch height difference here. 5 feet 9 inches, 174 centimeters in favor of Rubin to 5 feet 7 inches, 170 centimeters for Tennant. But reversal in the reach here. 72 inches, 183 centimeters to 69 inches, 175 centimeters for Rubin. This is going to be an interesting one. Tennant is used to being a taller fighter, used to being a longer fighter in her fights. She's not going to be in this one. This one is about even because Rubin is taller. Tennant has the longer reach. It's going to be evened out here. And both of these fighters prefer to stand and trade on the feet here. They'll go to the ground if necessary, but most of them, the two of them, for the most part, they prefer to stay on the feet here. My pick is going to be Taneisha Tennant. She's just overall a cleaner striker, and she does really well at staying on the outside and picking apart her opponents. Rubin's good, but she's not the cleanest fighter. So that's why I'm going with Tennant here. But honestly, I think this is a bit of a pick 'em fight. But I am going to go with Tennant to win and retain her championship. But again, if she hopes to get taken up to the big show, and she has a vocal fan base, a small but dedicated and vocal fan base online, if she wants to get brought up to the big show, she needs to make a statement in this fight. Even if you can't go for the finish, at least try. Look like you want to get the finish in this fight. Really take the fight to Rubin. She's going to have to basically fight outside of the way she normally fights if she really wants to impress here. Just saying. You want to get signed to the big show, you've got to make statements. You've got to impress. Fighting a former title challenger from a heavier weight class in Olga Rubin and really putting your mark on her, like really taking it to her and going for that finish. Even if you don't get it, if you go for that finish, that's how you make a statement in a championship bout. Otherwise, they're just going to go up another Tennant decision, and then they'll just pass over her again for another fight or two. There you have it. Your preview for Invicta FC 48, which goes down tomorrow, Wednesday, July 20th at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Mountain Time. It's happening in Denver, Colorado. First Invicta event outside of Kansas City since, I think, 2018. So it's been quite a while since Invicta stepped foot outside of Kansas City on either side of the river, which is really nice to see. I actually considered going to this one, but my vacation time just didn't line up with it. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. Who are you picking? Let me know in the comments down below. If you like the vid, please give it that like. Hit that like button. Helps bring traffic to it. And while you're at it, don't forget to subscribe to WMMA Now, the best, most complete women's mixed martial arts dedicated platform on YouTube. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.